Let's face it, we live in an age of information overload. We are bombarded with tons of information, and consequently we feel like our brains are about to explode. I've been there, balancing university, a job, semi-pro volleyball, workouts, YouTube, coding, and more. It felt like I was juggling 1,000 balls at once. But then I thought, there has got to be a better way. And then I stumbled upon the power of digital note-taking. Just imagine having a cheat sheet to life, a second brain. That is what I found, and now I'm here to share it with you. I promise this is not just another life hack, it's a game changer. It was for me, especially when I faced the inevitable truth. The human brain, as wondrous as it is, has its limitations. Let me elaborate on that. So, while our brains are incredibly sophisticated, our memory system is not infallible and prone to errors and distortions. The 5 main errors are encoding failures when the information doesn't get transferred effectively into our long-term memory, storage decay, the fact that our memories can fade or change over time, retrieval failures when we can't access a memory although it is stored in the brain, also known as the tip of the tongue phenomenon, source amnesia, when we have a memory but cannot remember where or how we obtained that information, and interference, which can be proactive, so old memories hinder the recall of newer memories, or retroactive, where new memories hinder the recall of old memories. Now, for some of these errors, you can decrease the likelihood of it happening, but that requires a lot of attention, repetition, and rehearsal. In other words, time and effort. So you could actively invest into a better human memory. However, there is a less time-consuming and more efficient way: leveraging technology. So let's compare the capabilities of a digital storage system with our human ones. Firstly, because computers save data in binary format, zeros and ones, the storage is precise and error-free. Thus, in contrast to the human brain, you can avoid encoding failures. The second error a computer is able to avoid is storage decay. Because when data is saved to a computer storage, it can be kept indefinitely and it won't be changed until it's intentionally modified or deleted. And well, each time we recall a memory, we can unintentionally modify it. It is basically the same principle as in the telephone game, where a message is whispered from one person to the next in a chain. Just that in our case, the different persons are our past, present, and future selves. And you probably know that by the time the message reaches the last person, it becomes distorted or changed. Apart from that, we all know we are forgetful since our memories naturally degrade over time. This is not the case for computers. Thirdly, we have the aspect of searchability. Computers are able to find specific information in vast amounts of data almost instantaneously, while humans might fail to retrieve the information they need in that specific moment. On top of that, a machine saves information precisely as it is, irrespective of what came before or what came after it. Thus, interference is also not a problem for a machine. Now, a last benefit of a computer memory is that it can be copied perfectly and shared across multiple devices, which is not only practical for collaboration with others, but it also ensures multiple fail-safes against data loss. On the other hand, human memories are unique to the individual and cannot be cloned, transferred, or backed up in the exact same way. So now you know, our brain can't really compete with a computer, at least when it comes to storing and saving information. But to properly use a digital storage, a second brain, you have to feed information into it. And for this, you need to master a very specific skill. You need to learn how to properly write notes. And just in case this isn't clear to you yet, the time of pen and paper is over. You have to learn how to take digital notes. Now, if you're one of those naive persons that thinks, yeah, who needs digital note-taking? I'll just feed every piece of information into my computer. Then you will probably stop watching this video in a couple of seconds. But if you're really serious about expanding your knowledge base, accessing everything you learn, and ultimately becoming a smarter person, then I will now give you the 3 keys you need, a step-by-step guide to master the art of note-taking. Now, before you actually learn how to write notes, you need to first understand the purpose of it. Thus, the first key focuses on understanding the benefits of note-taking. So apart from being able to access important information you have stored, you can also use them to brainstorm new ideas and elaborate them, or to visualize plans and goals, which is a crucial step if you want to act out on them. Notes also help you not only to track your progress, but they also accelerate it since you are able to reuse past content. You'll have a place to look when you need creative materials, supporting research, or bits and shots of inspiration. And just as a small reminder, Every new idea is essentially just a branch sprouting from a tree of past knowledge. Besides that, you can also improve your holistic well-being by capturing positive moments, reflections, and experiences and rereading them whenever you like. And finally, you can actually boost your confidence because you will become aware of the fact that you have the knowledge, but you just need to locate it. In essence, the act of note-taking is a powerful tool for expression, organization, and comprehension. And it's a skill that proves itself beneficial in both personal and the professional areas of your lives. Now, once we know the point of notes, the second key comes into play. This key represents the questions what and how. To answer this question, you need to know what you are going to use these notes for, since what you want to write down depends on its use case. As an example, if you're preparing for a test, you will want to focus on key concepts, theories, and facts. But if you're working on a project, you could add supporting information or further resources that could be valuable. However, to really figure out what is important and what is not, you need to know how to recognize specific cues. To be precise, visual, verbal, and behavioral cues depending on your situation. Visual cues could be special fonts, color highlights, graphics, and animations. These usually occur in presentations or in videos like this one. Verbal cues, written or non-written, include repetitions, direct statements, keywords, or examples, to name a few. And then finally, behavioral cues translate to gestures, eye contact, pauses, or changes in tone and speed. Great, now you know what to write down. Or better said, how to separate the important from the unimportant. So on to question 2. How should you write things down? And while although every case is different, all of them require your notes to be short, simple, and structured. Really try to use keywords and bullet points. And I know this is difficult, but it is possible. And it is actually one of the most important parts of digital note-taking. So think twice about the way you formulate your notes. Well, maybe you have to think a third time, because it is crucial that your notes are not only short, but also simple and maybe even dumbed down. Don't just slam scientific vocabulary and technical terms into your notes, because you might understand the context of them now, but within 24 hours you will most likely have forgotten 70% of it. And the next time you have to work on this topic, you'll look at your notes and you'll just be confused. Besides that, please have a clear structure in your notes. Organize your notes in a way that is coherent to you and in a way that you can get a quick oversight when needed. Now, before I give you the third and final key to master the art of effective note-taking, let's talk about creativity. You need to remember that you are taking digital notes, which comfortably enables you to save your notes in a variety of formats. So utilize this possibility. Start using audio recordings, visuals, or even create an own system of symbols and signs. Just get creative. The third and final question you need to ask is, what do I do with my notes? Well, the first task you have is organizing your notes. And in this case, I'm talking about your general note repository. This may sound easy and straightforward, but you actually need to do this systematically. Because if you don't, and you take 50 notes per day, you will have to invest a shit amount of time into organizing them. And while you're doing this, you'll think, yeah, I'm hustling, I'm making progress, when you're actually just shifting the location of your notes. So preferably, create a system that helps you organize your notes and use it directly when saving a note. If you delay this step, you will lose the oversight on your note storage and eventually you will just give up on your second brain. Now, I personally organize some of my notes based on projects, while others, like from reading books and papers, are stored into a list so I can instantly find them. Finally, once you have your organized notes, you should not forget to recurrently engage with them. Reread your notes, reflect on them, and evaluate what of it is actually useful information. Update them based on new things you learn, consult them when a problem arises, and finally, archive them if you don't need them anymore. So now you know that our brains are amazing, but that they also forget stuff and mix things up. Computers, on the other hand, remember things exactly how they are, making them way better at holding on to information. However, if we want to make the most out of this tech advantage, we have got to get good at taking notes. That means picking out the juicy bits, jotting them down in a way that is simple and makes sense, and finally, curating the system by coming back regularly and tidying it up. If you do this consistently, you eventually won't have to remember the details of the information, but just where to find it. This will relieve your brain and free up brain power for your ambitious and creative endeavors, which is exactly what we humans are good at. Besides that, you will set yourself up to build on every lesson, every experience, and every moment of inspiration you have ever had. And lastly, you'll be able to transform your knowledge into tangible and meaningful actions. So start today, get yourself a digital note-taking app, and unlock the potential of every lesson life throws your way. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.